Our team, resistance R440 for January. Pretty straightforward. You have 4 circuits, 2 exercises, 4 rounds. Now you're going back and forth, or rather side to side in the room. Okay, you're not going from the front to the back. You're going from side to side. Now each circuit you will progress to the back, from the front to the back. But when you're doing the circuit, you're going from side to side. Again, 2 exercises, 4 rounds. There are 4 main circuits. You have 2 finishing circuits once you're done. The work time is 28 seconds, rest time 25. End of round rest time 25. So you're going back and forth, 28 seconds worth of work, 25 seconds worth of rest. Once you're done with a circuit, you have a 45-second transition time from circuit to circuit. When you're done with all 4 circuits, you move into your first finishing circuit, which is a body weight finishing circuit, okay? It is to finish off the muscles we just worked. You have 3 rounds, 30 seconds worth of work, 0 transition time from exercise 1 to exercise 2, and a 10-second end of round rest time. Again, 3 rounds, 2 exercises, 3 rounds, 30 seconds worth of work, 0 between the first 2, 10 seconds between, or 10 seconds end of round rest time. Then you have a 30-second switch time. Then you're gonna finish with a sit-up or a finishing circuit for your core. It is a Chumbawamba song. So it's when I get knocked down, I get up again, I get knocked down, I get up again, and you're gonna be doing sit-ups. So when they say I get up again, you're coming up into that sit-up position. When you say get knocked down, you go down into that rest position. So the down is the rest, coming up. Now you're not coming all the way up to where you're resting at the top. You come up about 3/4 of the way if you really wanna challenge yourself. Now, once you're completely fatigued, because this is almost for 3 minutes, once you're completely fatigued, you may have to come almost all the way up in order to be able to keep going. The whole idea is not to stop. But keep in mind, when they go down, they're getting a rest time at the very bottom. Now, ideally, they don't set their shoulders on the ground. They keep the shoulders off the ground because that keeps tension on the abs the entire time. They're still getting a little bit of a reprieve there, but it still keeps tension on the abs. So again, you can take it from an extreme level to a very easy level. If you want it easy, you go all the way down. Keep in mind as well, for people with lower back issues, they do not come off the ground with that back. They keep it in a crunch. So they just lift the shoulders up on the up and they come down on the down. Again, for those really hardcores, they go all the way up. Well, not all the way up, about 3/4 of the way up. So right about here, not sitting here, because that's going to take pretty much all the work off of the exercise. So if you're sitting in the sit-up position, you're going to be about 3/4 of the way. Then you go down, keeping the shoulders off the ground to keep the tension on those abs. And that will probably destroy those abs that should be burning. By the time they're done, they should be insanely burning. Remember, there's 2 things you want to remember when it comes to abs. Number 1, make sure you're feeling it where you're supposed to in the abs. Okay, not in the lower back of the hip flexors. If you need to, you change it up if that's the case. And 2, when the burning starts, that's when the benefit to the muscle actually starts. So don't stop when the burning starts. And their team is R440 resistance for January. Anytime you're doing a pressing exercise, guys, is going to be the elbow placement. I want this elbow either in line with the shoulder or slightly below the shoulder to protect the shoulder joint. And keep in mind, don't let the shoulders come up like this where we're raising the shoulders. I want the shoulders down. I want that shoulder placement good. That shoulder where it should be in the socket there, I want that to be perfect before we start overloading. So again, keep your shoulders down. Don't let them creep up. And elbow placement. Your forearms perpendicular to the ground, not in, out, up, down, whatever it is. Okay, perpendicular to the ground. You can go just below 90 degrees. Give you a little bit of additional stretch and range of motion in that pec, and then back up again and again. You're working on that arc. When you're just going to be the double dumbbell deadlift. Here, shoulders down and back. You want that back flat. You want a slight bend in the knees, and you're coming down. You stop when your hamstrings tell you to stop. You don't keep rounding your back to get deeper into that exercise, guys. You want to keep that back flat, come up, squeeze the glutes. Now, that puts a lot on the posterior chain. If they have lower back issues, you're going to have to go lighter. You can give them another option on that. Circuit number 2 is the last equalizer dips. Equalizer dips. Option. You're going to be facing, or your feet are going to be over, you're going to be facing the box. And the reason is then that way I can utilize legs to help push me up. I can utilize a lot more legs when I'm in that position. Option 2, I turn around. My feet are on the box. Again, shoulders down and back, come down 90 degrees, back up again. I don't want to go below 90 degrees with my elbows. So just 90 degrees, back up, or I can do no assistance at all. Or you can even actually load it with either a dip belt, or you can take a dumbbell and put it between your legs. So you can overload that one really good. Pull through, rubber band pull through. Once again, this is a hip thrust. It's all it is. I prefer to grab the handle here. You can grab it however you want, but I prefer to grab the handle on the side. You're going to walk out until you feel that good resistance here. Then you're going to bend forward and you're going to bring your hips down and forward. And all you're doing is pushing your hips forward, down and back, hips forward, squeeze the glutes. You want to get in that full alignment with your hips, because if you're back here, you're not going to get the full contraction of the glutes. You got to get all the way as far as you can possibly go. Again, all it is a hip thrust. Think about doing a hip thrust, and that's exactly what that movement is. Incline bench press. Once again, just like the flat bench press, elbow placement's the most important. So elbows are going to be in line with the shoulders or slightly below. You can go back down a little bit below 90 degrees, or you can stop at 90 degrees. Nice arc pattern. When you're done, use your legs to help get you out. That's exercise number one. Exercise number two is going to be the kettlebell sumo squat. So kettlebell sumo squat is going to be, you can do it from the bench or you can do it from the floor. Again, shoulders down and back. Push your hips back. When you come down, push through the heels, squeeze the glute at the top of the movement. Okay, you want the work, the power to come from your hips, not from your quads. So you don't want your hips forward. You want the hips back so you can get the work from the back, or from your hips rather. That is the last exercise. Then from there, so that's a squatted plate hold. So you're going to be in the squatted position. Here, you're holding the plate, not with your fingers out, with your fingers, or in, I'm sorry, not with your fingers in through the hole. You're holding it with your palms against the plate. Elbows tucked in. If you take your elbows out here, it's going to be easier. Elbows tucked in, squatted position. All that's going to do is just add a little bit more intensity. You don't have to be in that squatted position, but elbows in. If they want more, they push this out, pull it back. Push it out. When they do that, you'll feel an intense contraction in those pec muscles. Leg curl. Either you have the RIP 60 leg curl or you have the stability ball. Stability ball is going to be a little bit easier option if this is too much. Option one, again, pull your toes up so that it doesn't engage those calves, because a lot of people will start flexing those calf muscles when they're in there. It's just a natural movement, or it's a natural thing for them to do. So pull the toes up, hips off the ground slightly, and you're curling back. Option two, hips come all the way up. Again, your nice alignment. Notice my hips are in alignment the entire time. And in option three, you can always add extra weight on that. Again, if that's too much, they can do the exact same movement on the stability ball. Let me grab a stability ball real quick, so give that option for you. So exact same movement here on the stability ball, hips down or hips come up. Again, hips coming up, you're going to get more flexion in that glute. You're going to work the glutes a little bit better. Green rubber band, you're going to put it around your, just above the knees rather. Okay? You're not going on the knee joint itself, going just above the knees. You're going to be on your hands and knees. And you're going to come out and then kick back. So it's a kick back, fire hydrant, kick back. Come back in, drop down to about here. We're not coming all the way down and not putting the knee back down on the ground, because we want to keep the constant tension on those glutes. We start here, come out, and then kick back, come back, and then down here. Okay? And you're going to do that for both sides.